like we were talking about finances. Yes, in the first video I made mention of some examples such as people like Abraham. We know that Abraham, when the Lord called him, he was already a businessman. He already had helps, and we were told in the Bible that when he journeyed from Genesis chapter 12, he went with sheep and some possession. You understand? But then there was a place in his life where there were five kings that gathered against the kings in his area, and then they took the treasures away, including Abraham's slaves. So Abraham counted the number of slaves left for him in his house, and they went against this kingdom on behalf of the king of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they won the battles. And they brought the bounty, that is the spoil, the things, the treasures that they possess. So that was a huge treasure. And then when the kings in that zone, Sodom and Gomorrah, came to meet Abraham, they wanted to give him the wealth. That, oh, take the money because you risk your life. Abraham told them point blank that I don't want anything that is yours or I've acquired from the war, because it is not mine. Because I don't want you to say to me in the future when you see me blessed that it is I that made Abraham rich. So this statement tells us that by that time, Abraham was a businessman. He was wealthy, but he was not prosperous. Okay, he was not that rich to the extent that he didn't require. That means that by that time he was having a necessity. His statement tells us that he had not yet achieved the level of financial independence he wants. Meaning he was in debt, he was struggling. You understand? Yes, but then he was bold to reject that. Why? Because he was working, he was in business. But we can also see that with time, it got to a time that kings begin to give to him. For instance, when you get to King Abimelech, wanted to take Sarah for a wife. When the Lord spoke to Abimelech and Abraham was leaving, King Abimelech blessed him with so much treasure, including human slaves. Okay, so now that is a supernatural way of God blessing you. So God is able to touch people, God is able to cause things around, God is able to do all these things. But you should not be the one pressing that thing, pressing the button that God, I need a destiny help. It is in his own time he will make that happen. But then it requires you coming to a certain level. You cannot just sit idle and lazy like people are being taught today in church. You are not doing anything and you expect the Lord to bless you. It does not work like that. We see another example. We're picking specific people in King David's life when he started as a broke guy, and then he started championing the cause when the Lord anointed him and King Saul wanted to kill him. We saw that it was broke people that followed the guy, but with time he began to transform. Today there was a time that he was begging, he needed food to survive. He even stayed in the land of his enemies to survive. He was broke, dead broke. But we know that through industry, through industrious work with his team, gradually, he was able to build business for himself, even though he was in warfare. They were not just on the in the bush for nothing. They were doing things, and along the way, they also team built affiliate with other wealthy people that sponsored them on the way. Okay, but it came to a time that the man has so much that he reserved so much that he wanted to build a temple even for God. But the Lord said he has split a lot of blood, so his son Solomon will do it. Now, when we study the life of King Solomon, we realize this guy was very intelligent. We saw first how he became blessed, that God blessed him because he had a great heart to impact, to live exemplary lifestyle, to be a leader, to fulfill God's vision. That is, he stepped into his purpose. Then God said, because of the genuity of your purpose that you've asked, then I'll add to you treasure, riches. Okay, so we can see Solomon's wisdom, how he began to build affiliates, he began to trade. He was a big time businessman, and we can see Solomon use his wisdom to get things. There are times he borrowed, yes, because he was building extravagant fraternities and extravagant projects and etc. To be continued.